Welcome to the Wicked Radio Network.
Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out before I pick up the phone. Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home.
Recorded to you live from deep inside Solomon Grundy's undies. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We made you wait on this one.
Oh, a little double shot from Brother Bob. I liked it. We down were ready. We were like, ooh, second round.
I know, I was about to come right in.
Surprise,
motherfucker.
Surprise, baby. So, yeah, welcome back, kids. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. As always, it's me. I'm Bill Schwarzenegger. And I got my buddy Dom over there.
What's up,
I got my brother Bob over there.
Hello.
He's a buddy, too. But that was nice. Sexy.
He's a bud.
He's sexy today. So
One for the ladies.
So, yeah, one for the ladies. We could use a lady on this show once in a while, maybe.
Just one lady listener. Well, actually, we have
We got at least one.
We
We
have
got
a few.
Steph. We got Steph. She's listening. She's still digging through the archive, man.
Maybe we should get lady listeners to like email so we know that they're out there.
Boy, let me tell you, the emails.
If we can get any listeners to email, that'll be
Well, you know, so far we're doing good.
interesting.
We're doing good. I mean, pound for pound, listeners that I know we have, most of them, when you just think of it like that, they already email. You got Ed and you got Agent Palmer, and then it's like I know about 3 other people. So that's, to me, that's like, you know, most. It's a percentage thing, I think.
Right. So there's Ed, Agent Palmer, and then wait for the crickets.
Yeah. Insert that later.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed the crickets. All right. So anyway, here we are. And, you know, I don't know where to start, but they'll throw out the official business stuff real quick. Hey, kids, subscribe, rate, and review. If you hear us on a device or a service that allows you to do those things.
Specifically iTunes.
Specifically iTunes.
Or Stitcher.
Or Stitcher. Stitcher allows you to do that.
Or
too.
Libsyn.
Just listen. Just listen on Libsyn. Libsyn
That's
doesn't
true.
do a
Oh, they don't?
subscribe. Not really.
Shows what I know.
But they have their own app, which allows you to listen to all the great podcasts they have. It's called The Source.
Does it?
Yes.
Libsyn, The Source app. So find that if you're looking for another app to put on your app device. So,
Yes.
yeah. So speaking of shows to subscribe to, we're doing another show. We mentioned it last week. We're actually going to record it today after this show. Our buddy Chad's going to join us, and that's a thing we call Chadley. We're trying to get Chad on the show, you know what I mean? And the thing that stinks is, like, right now he's getting off work. And for us, time-wise, it's just like, we'll get him here.
Yeah.
But he's going to join us for that in a little while. He's supposed to pop in at the 5 o'clock hour, and we're approaching that pretty quickly.
We're just getting started.
We're just
here
getting warmed up. How you like that from popping my bees? I tell you not to do that in radio.
Peter Piper picked the peppers.
He did a lot.
All right, so we're doing another show, right?
We're doing another show, yeah. I did start that conversation, Preacher versus Preacher, and that's going to be because, you know, we love TV, but we love too many TV shows. So to squeeze in a show that we're going to be talking about that much into this show,
It'd just be way too much, man.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like we bombard you guys enough with like Flash, Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Right.
well, we push a
shit.
2-hour limit on this show as it is. It's like crazy.
Because, you know, if you listen to the show, you know that once we get off on like on a tangent on like all those shows, like I just mentioned, Walking Dead and all that good shit.
Yeah.
If we were to do that, you know, while those shows are still on with this new show coming, it would just be ridiculous.
It would just be too much.
No, besides, the Preacher is held in such high regard.
It's our baby. It's our little baby.
You're going to want to talk and talk and talk. So if once you start talking about that, you won't talk about anything else.
Exactly.
So it's got to have its own show.
So,
but
go ahead, buddy.
Before we go any further, I just want to say, like, with that said, we are going to challenge ourselves to make the episodes only like, you know, an hour to an hour and a half, and not any.
Which we're
not any longer
trying
than
to do with this
show.
With
this show also, yes.
Right.
Yes.
But that show, you know, the idea is, hey, you know, if
Quick.
keep it quick, keep it clean, but at the same time be a little different than other recap shows because we'll have read the books. We've already read it.
We're going to reread them.
Reread them.
Yeah, we got some time.
And then an angle of the show is that we're really going to compare them to each other and
the other day me and Bill were like, if Talking Dead with commercials can be an hour, I think we can make our podcast
we'll all
without
have to
commercials.
talk as fast as Chris Hardwick, but
that's true.
I can do it kind of, but that's my default sometimes. So, but other than that, you guys can look for that. I mean, you've heard us talk about it since the first episode of this show, and it's kind of like a little bit like, oh my God, I can't believe that's what's going to happen now. Like, they talked about it forever, and now they're going to go do it somewhere else. Well, it's just the way it's going to have to be. It's logistically, it would be crazy.
Yeah.
But we're really excited for it, and the first episode is going to be like a thing where anybody can listen to it. It's going to be our last chance and our last warning to everybody to go get the books before the show actually starts, because that's not until May or June anyway.
Right.
So,
and once the show gets going, the TV show, then there'll be more episodes.
Yeah,
right.
Starts preacher versus preacher.
Yeah, start small. Just pick up the first trade, the first book.
Yeah, and lock yourself in the bathroom or whatever you got to do to get the private time you need to read through it.
Absolutely.
Because once you start it, you're not going to want to put it down.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
All right, and that's got its own Twitter account. And if anybody's interested, obviously subscribe to the show once it's up on iTunes. But it's got its own Twitter account, Preach vs. Preach, PREACH VS on Twitter. On to other things, kids.
Meanwhile,
in the meanwhile section, I slapped in a couple of TV shows. We usually do the talk for them a little bit later on, but I feel like these were two things that were kind of built up, and it doesn't matter at this point. We can kind of just chat them up.
Yeah, real quick. I mean,
the Arrow/Constantine episode
that aired this week.
I'm not a super follower of the Arrow.
Yeah, Bill doesn't watch Arrow frequently. I know Bob.
Yeah, I don't
has
watch
probably
it
never
at all.
seen an episode at all.
But I do know enough about Arrow and Constantine to realize that that's a very interesting combination.
Yeah.
So.
And it was kind of a matter of absolute convenience. I mean, they were already doing a storyline where they were going to need somebody of his skill set, and they brought him in. So before I give my opinion, because I know what my opinion already is, you know what I mean? Generally speaking, it's not that it's bad. But how'd you feel about it, buddy? Because I know you watched it, right? Or I'm presuming that you watched it.
Yeah, I did watch it.
All right, good.
I usually don't miss an episode of Arrow.
Never miss an episode of Arrow.
Yeah, man. I thought it was good. Obviously, as I do with all episodes of Arrow,
sure,
it's a pretty solid show to me. But I don't know. I feel like they kind of hyped up the Constantine aspect of the show just to kind of drive up ratings, on the show. I mean, that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is. I think
it was. I feel
for
like
the season, it's going to be one of their highlights. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's the highest rated episode so far of this season.
Yowza.
So, that probably was in their minds when they were, in the room, kicking this thing around. But also, I think it was just a nice gesture towards the fans of the comics and also the fans who, kind of like me, and I know you feel the same way. That kind of wish Constantine never got canceled. Right.
So, I liked the show. I wish it could have been more, but that's a whole different conversation. Exactly. So, but how do you feel about this episode, though? Well, did it ring the bell?
It didn't really live up to what I thought the episode was going to be in terms of how much Constantine was around,
right,
and how much of a role he played in the episode. But with that said, I think the episode was crucial to the main storyline of Arrow right now, and
absolutely,
it's a turning point of the show going forward now.
I felt like story-wise,
which was good because they could have just made that episode be all about John Constantine,
right,
and kind of stay away from
the main storyline,
like we saw with our next bullet point here.
Right, well, what you would have seen with like any other kind of crossover, generally speaking. Like, it would just be like, oh, that guy comes to town, the main storyline gets pushed back, but because it dovetailed in, it was actually a guy they were going to need anyway, even if they couldn't make it happen. So it worked. It was good like that. I just felt like it was like a little lackluster. It just kind of felt almost like, it felt so blasé that it was almost like, oh, John's been here before almost. Like, it wasn't really like wowing. But
right. Well, I mean,
it is what it is.
It's Arrow, man. It's not fucking...
Yeah. It's not Walking Dead or Game of Thrones or something crazy like that. What I'm just trying to really get at is just that, it felt like a little too dragged out. Like, they could have done more with them. I felt like I realized that it was 20 minutes to go, and they were like, okay, let's do this. Like, they waited till late in the episode to actually get to the business.
Well, you're right. Well, I think that's because they're also trying to... Arrow's a show that right now has, like, 6 or 7 main characters on it.
Right. So
and, like, when I say main characters, I mean, like, you know... That
it's an ensemble.
It's not
really
like, you know, for the rest... I think this is season 4, right? So, previous 3 seasons... The show was about the Arrow. It was about Oliver Queen, really.
Sure.
Now the show has become
it's
more about the team, and you know, it doesn't really just focus on Oliver anymore. He sort of has taken a back seat this season so far to me.
Yeah.
I think that they've been focusing on a few of the other characters a little bit more than him, which is fine with me. I mean,
I think it's a way for them to stretch out too a little bit. Like, I noticed there was Diggle stuff going on in the B storyline.
Still is.
You know,
they're focusing a lot on the guy Captain Lance. Right now, obviously focusing a lot on Sarah and the entire Lance family, actually, because
the Lance family.
Because Laurel is a big role also in the season. I know you really haven't watched it, but for anyone that's listening that knows what I'm talking about, please fucking help me out here, because this is fucking like talking to a wall.
I think Frank and Mauricio are really they're gonna go places with their business. That's a great idea. They're gonna start that, and then Sherry, I think, and Michelle are fighting. You know, I mean, no, that's not anybody on there.
No.
Okay. But so I'm a little lack on that. But point is that it's going good, and I'll take your word for it, buddy, because I trust your opinion.
All right,
would have gave you a microphone if I didn't.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying, Bob?
Oh, yeah.
I
think so.
That was great. I was like, yeah, sure. All right. So also the Morgan Show. I don't know if anybody ever saw this. This is a new series that started on AMC, where it's just about a guy and his stick. It's called the Morgan Show. We don't find out about anybody who might be like dead or torn apart by zombies or hiding under a dumpster to survive. We don't. No other storyline.
No clans.
No. Just about this dude in the woods getting some Aikido lessons.
Getting his stick on. Waxing his shaft. You know what I mean? Doing all that kind of hard work. It gets sweaty out there in the woods. I'm just glad that he washed up at some point, because that dude was dirty. Okay, so we're talking about Walking Dead, in case anybody's confused. And they had instead of closing the door on this storyline with Glenn, they literally, or leaving it open. That's what they want to do. Yeah.
Oh. They stalled like a motherfucker, and they put this episode of Morgan, which really could have been put anywhere in the season. Mm-hmm. They could have dropped that at any time. But
they clearly did this on purpose, just to just to fuck with us.
Yeah, and they played it perfect. They knew exactly what they were going to get out of it. Between the cliffhanger itself, audience reaction, how it was all going to go on The Talking Dead, where they were going to try and maintain this idea of, we don't know what's going on. It doesn't mean anything. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. It's like, if he was dead, we'd know he was dead, because you guys would celebrate his death or memorialize it. But so they gave us this Morgan episode, which was good in and of itself. It was a great episode. Like, for Morgan, it closed those doors, gave us the backstory we were missing. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, it's like, we all want to just see more about that guy that might be dead.
I definitely do. And I'm kind of torn on this episode.
Right.
A lot, actually. I'm a lot of torn on this episode.
It was a very Bob De Niro face you made right there. People couldn't see it at home, but it was very...
Just a little bit.
I want you to know.
I tried.
It was good, though. It was good.
Just a little bit.
So, I'm sorry, I interrupted, but continue.
No.
You just interrupted just a little bit.
A little bit.
No big deal, man. I just the Morgan Show was a great first episode.
Yeah,
I think they came out. They really established some good stuff. Great origin story. I like the character.
I wonder where the season's going to go.
Right. I like the diversity in the show.
I heard it was just a one-episode season, though.
Oh, it was... What? It was a special one-time only airing of the pilot. It was an hour and a half. It is like a Lifetime Movie of the Week kind of thing. AMC Movie of the Week.
Yeah, they just need another 40 minutes of commercials spread out among the hour.
You know what? They should do that.
Wait,
like the
what was it?
It was called The Morgan. The Morgan Story. A man in the woods with a stick. So anyway, yeah, it was pretty good, but
it was a great episode, but it just kind of pissed me. Like,
it's the time.
Like I said, I was on a serious note. Like
timing,
I said, I was torn.
What he was going for.
Right.
Well, yeah, but from a fan's perspective, the timing kind of sucks.
Absolutely,
because it's like you have a great episode, with, a character that you want to know so much about from being a fan of the show, but then at the same time,
but then the creator is like,
Oh, what are these in my hand? Oh, they're your balls.
Well, that's what any show creator
You're not
does
going
at
anywhere.
any point in time.
So I'm going to hang you by them for a couple episodes.
That's it.
Now with Glenn, and then I'll tell you what's really going on.
And you probably won't like it.
Yeah,
like when we come back, you probably
wish to be hanging by your balls some more, just so you can find something.
They got some other controversial thing coming up in the pike. I'm sure that it'll be like, oh.
Yo, I didn't notice it, but I heard that on the Morgan show, they during the
Morgan show, wife and kids and everything.
It's a great Morgan accent.
I'm trying. He's putting it on so thick sometimes.
Yeah,
go on.
He's a British actor.
He's super British.
Yeah,
like when you hear him, it's like, oh my god.
His name's Lenny James.
Tea and fucking crumpets. So
anyways, I heard this. I didn't get to actually confirm it myself, but
word on the street is
that during the episode of the Morgan show, during the opening credits, Stephen Yen and
the guy who was playing Nick.
No, what's the other guy's name?
Rick?
I think his name is Rick.
Okay,
I can't think of his name.
What, the credits weren't on there?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So they even went that far to play into it. That's funny.
So I don't know if it's like, obviously fucking Rick isn't dead.
Yeah. That's kind of silly.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a cool touch that they went that far with it to kind of keep the mystery alive or to spur it on another week. Because that's probably what it was.
I mean, I have to guess like the only reason for them doing that is to just fuck with people even further. Like not.
You know what? You know whose idea that was? That's fucking Kirkman. Kirkman's insane, and like in the best way possible. Like he just loves fucking with the fucking the viewer and the reader and in the main book, but also Gimple, the executive producer.
Scott Gimple.
Yeah. So anyway,
so I have one more meanwhile to add. It's not on our list here, but it does.
You brought your own. What
you got? It does pertain to The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Just to mention real quick that I am dedicating my life to catching up on the Walking Dead comic book. I am on to issue 109 right now, and I'm slowly making my way to catching up.
Oh, now more specifically, I threw you some books.
Yes.
I threw you some books, but I also bought you for your birthday the very first trade.
Yes.
And then I now lent you trade
number 17 through 21.
You went from 1 to 17.
Yeah.
Nothing in the middle.
Nope. Nothing.
Nothing in the middle.
Nope.
So in a general, let me ask you this in a general way,
right.
Without spoiling too much, but it's quite the different lineup when you start reading the book. It's like, who are these people? And like, this guy's there, that one's not there.
Well, yeah. It's just at first it's like a little confusing because some of the characters in the book, they don't look exactly like the actor on the show. So it's like, obviously the book's in black and white, so it's a little harder to tell.
I'll give you this much.
But,
like Andrea in the book looks nothing like the character
in the
show.
That's what I was saying. Like her and
she's still alive.
Maggie.
To give people a little tidbit. Like, I'll throw that out there. But Maggie doesn't look... kind of. In the way the comic book's kind of like, general...
I don't see it personally.
Glenn
but
look like Glenn.
He does, I think.
You know what I mean? Yeah? Oh, okay. Racist. I'm like...
that's not...
what do I do now? Okay. Point being, though, that I think the biggest change, though, you would say is Andrea, right? Because on the show, they actually shifted her age up. She's actually younger in the book, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like...
And a different,
Well, I didn't really read, like, her character development like you did, you know what I mean? Because I only read the first trade, and I picked back up at the 17th trade.
Yeah, there's a couple.
So I can't tell really like her age right now.
Right.
But I do think it's interesting how on the show while her and Shane were still alive, they kind of had like a little bit of a fling like towards the end. And now in the book, her and Rick,
they're like a couple.
Exclusively.
I don't mean it either like, she's so much younger.
Those crazy kids.
These kids these days.
And
their apocalypse love. But just to wrap that up, though. But yeah, I don't mean to say like, she's like looks like she's 22 in the book or anything like that. Right. But I mean, she's early 30s tops in the book. Is definitely. Kind of what I mean.
Definitely.
But and in the show, she was, mid to late 30s. I don't know why I'm bringing it up. I'm an ageist, I guess, is maybe what's being revealed right now.
Ageist.
Ageism.
Ageist. All right, so let's do some email, kids, because, email is a thing we do. Got some emails. So a whole bunch of motherfucking emails. That's the new song, right? No? How's that?
I personally don't like it.
Okay, all right. Well,
there's the metal version.
Emails! We got some emails!
I like this one better.
We got a whole lot of fucking motherfucker emails! Yay!
I like that one better.
You like this guy better? Yeah! Punk it up! Punk emails! From the south side of Brisbane Rock.
What was that last word you said there?
Brisbane Rock. You never been to London's Brisbane Rock?
No.
Okay, me neither. Making it up.
Isn't it where Jack the Ripper used to hang out?
Can you procrastinate the emails any further, Bill?
Oh, absolutely. What would you like me to do? I could do a cartwheel. Oh, there you go. Oh. That was an amazing cartwheel I did. All right. Theater of the mind. So, I got some emails. There's a bunch of Ed mails. But I want to take this moment to just point out that although I'm only going to tease it here because Ed will listen to this, that the next time he's on, I got a couple of questions for Ed.
You do?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to give it away, but it came up in a separate kind of conversation, which didn't really directly involve him, but it made me notice something. So I'm interested to ask him this thing, but I don't want to tease it. I'll tell you guys off mic later. You know what I mean? And Ed can just sit there and wonder. Hi, Ed.
Well, if you want to ask him if he's going to bring us any more furniture, then maybe you should ask him now so he'd bring it next time.
You know what? He can bring treats.
Yeah, we could use a couch.
I could use snacks. I like snacks. Yeah. Where me and Bob both have a
coffee table.
We like dark chocolate as opposed to milk chocolate. So keep that in mind for the holidays. All right. So you know what?
We take bribes, Ed.
You know what I was thinking too? Ed would be a great guy if we try to come up with a bit where people actually send in emails, and I might send one in myself to this show to get it started. Like Ask Ed. Like I don't know what you would ask Ed, but like like a Dear Abby or like a.
So we're doing a spinoff of our Ed Mail program.
Well, let's see if anybody will do it. I don't think anyone will because
our listeners suck when it comes to emails.
Yeah, so, we'll call it Ask Ed, and people just send in anything they want, and we'll see how that goes. We'll stack them up and make Ed read them. How about that? Oh, well.
Yes.
I don't know. It's an idea. So, speaking of emails, I got a thing from the guys in the lab, from the boys down in the laboratory.
Right.
And it's a list. It's 5 reasons why you should write an email to this show.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like those guys, I don't even know why I pay them half the time. They don't do anything.
Wait. You pay them?
Well, yeah, it's in drachma or some other country. I don't even know anymore. We kind of converted currency so many times.
Let it slide because you don't pay me and I'm family.
Right. Well, it's the pleasure of working here tax is what we call it.
Yeah.
I got that from Uncle Scrooge McDuck.
I remember that.
Yeah, by the time we're done with deductions, what you got left, I take that too because that's the pleasure of working here tax. So, they got 5 reasons why you should write an email to this show. And the first one is obvious. It's our friend Ed has monopolized our mailbox, and he's going to get carpal tunnel or torn rotator cuff soon. So, help relieve his workload. Right?
Please.
Sounds fair?
Yeah. Please.
Okay, the second one is studies show that writing emails greatly improves. Nothing, because no one's really done that study. But, hey, we could start one, and send an email and get that going. Right? I mean,
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Just
absolutely.
Okay, and then the third reason that people should write an email to this show is because rumor has it that those people, they think they're funny or witty or some shit, so they can prove it. If you probably think that you could write a funnier list than this, because this isn't really too funny yet, you know what I mean, or anything.
Wait,
you
this
could.
list is supposed to be funny?
Well, I don't know because it doesn't seem funny. So the challenge is that if they think they could write a funnier one. Just send it in. You know what I mean? Just send in your own.
So you're daring them?
Well, challenge. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Challenge.
Make it a dare. Sounds better. More people will take it up.
Here's another reason why people should write in emails to the show because, we refuse to believe that the only people who have their money tied up in international accounts and need us to help them get it out are listening to this show. Because that's the only other people who write us emails.
That's true.
That's you don't get more true than that, right?
So South African princes aren't I
don't think they're really
holding money for me and from a lottery.
Technically they probably are. You know what I mean? Obviously they're writing. They're writing the email, but I kind of feel like they're not the only type of people listening. It's kind of unusual that we're getting so many from them. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, there's no nerds or geeks writing into this show.
It is a kind of a nerdier show than
you would think.
Yeah,
this is definitely, we're not talking about
a South African prince would be listening to.
Yeah, we're not even talking savings and loan stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the last reason, the number 5 reason that people should email this show is, well, basically the other day the Make-A-Wish Foundation called us and basically to ask me to stop bothering them for autographed headshots of Fender Dent Crumble Bunch.
Oh.
But they told me about this kid, young Jeremy Smallwood. And he's lying in a California hospital right now, suffering from the ravaging effects of non-podcast emailatonia. And it's a devastating affliction that leaves him mostly unamused by life due to the lack of email sent to the podcasts. Mm-hmm. And reports are that he sits at a... Well, that's what he sounds like until he hears an email. The reports are that he sits at a window looking out longingly into the rain.
Glazed over the whole...
With his headphones on, listening for any podcast that he can find, hoping to hear an email read aloud. Any email. Funny, smart, boring, topical, informative, confrontational, or even a simple hello. Any email instantly brightens his day. And for a short while, life is worth living again. But soon that brightness fades. Eventually, shows run out of email, and shows receive so few emails that he can go days without hearing a single one. So,
poor guy.
The poor guy. So we ask you people at home to maybe take a moment from your hustle, bustle life of your game flick stations, your late night Uber derbies, and your fancy laser caramel lattes. And just think of young Jeremy Smallwood by the window, essentially dying of boredom. Help him. You guys could save him. Just write us an email. Send an email to podcast@wickedtheory.com. Do it for Jeremy.
I think I'm going to cry now.
Well, I mean, don't, because that would just ruin the mood.
I'm sorry. I'm a little emotional.
Bob's a softie. People probably wouldn't pick that up. But
Bob's been crying for the past 15 minutes.
Bob had a fit. Bob did have a crying fit.
Of sorts.
Of sorts. All right. So that was me.
It did have to do with email.
So that was from the boys in the lab. And, that's why we don't really go to them too much because,
That's why they stay locked in the lab.
It's a hit or a miss with those kids sometimes down there. You know what I mean? I think it's got something to do with the lack of oxygen and the level of the radon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, but I think you're taking the whole monkeys writing Shakespeare theory a little too far.
Okay. All right. I mean, you could do that too. I mean, that's a whole separate kind of setup, but whatever.
Well, it's the monkeys that are in the
Well,
lab,
yeah. I mean,
we tried.
We
said
had
drachmas. Now it's bananas.
I didn't want to say it, but I mean, we had orangutans for a while, but they're unruly, and so we swapped them out, and we got regular spider monkeys, but they just don't sit still, and so
chimpanzees
so
work the best.
I had to get humans, and now we know how they work. Not that great.
Well, like baboons.
Right. They're overrated.
Yeah, they throw feces and everything.
Ed mail. So, Ed's got a mail in here. I swear to you. And it says, do we think that Thanos...
Right.
To bring this back to a geek podcast, do we think that Thanos has been built up too much in the Marvel movies? Like, could he really live up to the hype?
I don't think there's enough... I'm sorry, which character are we talking about?
Thanos.
Okay.
Thanos.
For some reason, I had Galactus in my head.
That's fine.
Because I was thinking for some reason...
And there's plenty of room in there, so...
Yeah, Thanos... I don't think he's been given enough build-up, actually, from what I've seen.
Right, it's only been teases,
Yeah,
I kind of agree with that, but I also could see where Ed's coming from with this, this question, because he's been pretty much he's been the main focal point of each post-credit scene since Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Almost, for quite a many.
Yeah.
Well, Guardians of the Galaxy, he wasn't the post-credit scene, but he was actually in the movie. So
fair enough.
I mean, I think there's a fair amount of build-up for the character. I don't know if there's too much, just like because of what Bob said, that he's not really been shown
doing
enough.
anything.
Exactly.
Right.
But I think like the scene that's at the end of
the most recent appearance,
Avengers: Age of Ultron,
right,
could be seen as like a serious amount of build-up for the character, and knowing a lot of the character, like like me, you, Bob, and Ed do.
Sure.
There could be some overhype of the character.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think they've done that yet. I think what they need to do is they really haven't tied him into the calamity that's going to happen in the movie.
Right.
Well, the mainstream viewers of the movies definitely don't know what's coming.
Right.
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And that's the majority of the people.
Right.
We kind of know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What's going to happen? Even me, and I'm not reading what's current.
Right. Yeah, well, I don't think they're basing it on I'm presuming anyway, they're not really basing anything that he's going to do on anything too current. It's going to probably be the Infinity This is
like a rehash of an older storyline, sure, but it's going to be tweaked and manipulated to make it more modern, more current science-wise, all that. So it's going to look a lot different.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to fit it into also and the way that they're doing things.
Right, and they're fitting this storyline into a larger, more current storyline.
Right. So yeah, I think it's really going to come down to hindsight with that, because you only know if something's ever getting overblown in the moment where like, oh, they overhyped this is nothing.
It really
you won't know until it hits.
Well, that's what I was going to say, regardless of how they actually like, even if they were hyping up the character even more than they already are,
sure,
I think it's still
you got to wait.
Fair to say that you have to wait and see.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Fair enough. Yeah, I think
but that's a good question, though.
Yeah, I think like the last Avengers movie, I think Ultron ended up being overhyped a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that's
because I was like, that's it.
Yeah, I feel like
I thought he was supposed to be like this monstrous badass from the commercials, and then when you get to him, he's James Spader.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but I feel like the things that he did, like I don't know, we've just seen crazier shit now.
Yeah.
So it's like, how over the top was he? Yeah, when he does something by the end of the movie that's crazy, all right. Like, yeah, but we spent this whole movie just kind of getting to that one moment. Like, he should have been doing some more crazy shit.
Escalating. Yeah, there should have been more escalation to it. Absolutely. Instead of like one here and then 15 minutes later another, we see him do something else. And, and they're all... Let's call it mid-level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Action.
Yeah.
And
it's a clash. It's a fight. It's a chase.
Right,
it's just to keep the audience awake, and then
it's all of a sudden at the end, it's like this huge thing.
Yeah, and it's like, all right.
It's like, wait, okay, he could do that. How did we even know he could do that?
And it's a country we never heard of, so like we really don't care.
Yeah, so
but anyway. For the most part, back to Thanos. Like, yeah, I'd have to say it's hard to say right now. We'll wait and see.
So maybe
it's possible.
Yeah, maybe what they're doing now is they're trying to avoid doing that.
I think so. Well, I think the next time we'll probably see him, it'll be something much more engaging, because I think probably Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is going to come out before that Avengers sequel. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I got a feeling we'll see.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be one of the next things they do.
Yeah, we should see him in that. We should see a chunk of him in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, next question from Edward, because we don't have questions from anybody else.
Eduardo.
I'll go to the most recent one. Well, I had this on the list anyway, things to talk about, so we'll just do it here. Gentlemen, because that's how he starts all his. Do you believe the recent Japanese trailer for Star Wars The Force Awakens revealed too much? Is this revenge for World War II?
I hadn't seen the new trailer.
Yeah,
Took a second for that one too.
I'll let that marinate, the World War II joke.
You didn't see the trailer?
No.
Yeah, I guess Bob didn't see the new trailer.
No, I worked like 70 hours last week.
Yeah, Bob's clocking hours.
I heard.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
It's awesome. We'll all be taking out loans from you soon. But so
I hope so.
Interest rates high, kids. So
I'll give you the family vig.
Thank you. The trailer looked good. I mean, I actually heard from my buddy Grant Markham. You got to know this guy from 7 Days a Geek and Stranger Conversations. He actually called me last night. We were bullshitting a little bit about stuff, and he was like, finally sold trailer-wise, because like the last trailer really didn't do as much for him. He kind of felt this one actually had a little bit of story to it, and you got to see somebody for more than three flashes.
The ones leading up to this at least have all been like just teaser trailers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Extended teasers. That's all they were.
Yeah.
If they could have been they would tell just as much in 10 seconds as they did in a minute and a half.
Right. Well, what's good about this one too is there was stuff we hadn't seen. So
I guess I got to go. I guess I got to go online after the show.
No, I'm sorry.
I know you were making notes there for something else you must have seen online. You were making some scribbles.
No, actually,
exactly scribbles.
Yeah, actually, I ended up just fucking crossing it out. But trailer was cool. There were a few things that were like, why didn't they show this in the
other one?
And it's probably because they wanted to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
So I don't really, I personally don't know why they do that shit, where it's like, one continent gets one trailer and the other continent gets a different one.
Yeah, well, I think with these guys, it's always why they make 5 different trailers anyway. It's always like catering to a certain market for some reason or whatever. But with Star Wars, they know that that's going to get eaten up, the Japanese trailer, as much as their regular trailers because it's Star Wars. So for them, it's like they're saying like, of putting out another American trailer, U.S. trailer, because international trailers now they just get absorbed like anything else if it's big enough franchise.
I personally didn't notice anything from the Japanese trailer that was like overly spoilery at all, if that's a word.
No, it's not, but we use it.
Other than that one quick scene where Rey is like in the forest or whatever it is, and you see Kylo Ren like standing like above her, kinda,
right.
And he like takes his lightsaber and like brushes it against her face,
basically, right?
Pretty much. Other than that, I mean, nothing really crazy. I don't even know,
but but people are inferring so much from that scene.
Yeah,
that like, oh, that means they're related. I'm like, how does that mean they're related?
That means that Kylo Ren is Jar Jar Binks, right?
That's why he wears the mask, Misa, did you see the thing Nerdist put out? I don't even know if they put it out, but they had it up on their site. That's where I saw it. And it was Jar Jar Binks all in the last trailer. Like, they just kind of did a re-edit with Jar Jar.
I didn't see that, but I saw the someone made...
torture everybody?
Yeah, it was fun. You know what? As corny as it sounds, it was actually really funny.
Well, my friend actually sent me a link to an article yesterday that was written a while ago, but saying like someone was making an argument that Jar Jar Binks was a Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Like, and it's like as much of a joke as it is, like it still holds. Like it's like pretty cool. Like at the end of the article, you're like, wow, that's fucking like
actually valid,
something to think of.
Like actually made some points and backed it up. That's funny.
So you can go and look that up if you care.
Yeah, if you care.
At one point at the end of like the third of the first installment, didn't they make him a general or something? He was running around with a lightsaber for a little while.
Or something. Yeah, there is a point where he's like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's just like he grabbed the lightsaber and he's running around with it because it's a battle scene.
He might have found one. Yeah. What is this? And then just like
they did make him a general at the end of the whole thing because he survived.
Well, because
that whole battle.
I think for them it's a desk job, and they're like that's the best way to keep him out of the way.
Misa get good pension now.
But there was a trailer, a little commercial put out by Duracell that I showed to Bill yesterday at work. Duracell just put out like a commercial, a Christmas Star Wars style commercial, like with the kid opening up a lightsaber on Christmas morning, putting into his Duracell batteries into the lightsaber, whatever. So long story short, there's like a little girl in the commercial that's wearing a Rey costume, pretty much the new character from the Force Awakens,
right?
And she uses the Force, the girl. In the commercial.
I've actually seen this, I think.
So a lot of people are saying that, there's that character Rey now, which everyone has been speculating
is that a giveaway?
Is that a giveaway? Which I personally think it might be.
I think it's possible.
It's possible.
But I don't know.
Well, it's definitely possible, but,
it's a huge oversight
they
did.
Yeah.
But they could just be writing this.
But that's the thing too. I think a little bit of that commercial.
That's right.
Their easy dismissal is that no, it's all just a thing in a kid's head. That's like saying, are there really stormtroopers outside of a Connecticut home? Because that's what was cool about it for a second. I was like, it does kind of look badass with the stormtroopers in the snow outside of someone's house on Long Island. But because that's how the trailer goes.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like saying that is looking at a commercial and saying that is like looking at. What was it, a VW commercial, an Audi commercial with the little kid with the Darth Vader outfit? And saying like, oh, wow, okay, Darth Vader's got pushed, he can turn on cars with his mind.
Right. Yeah, it's like, you got to try and just say it's a commercial until...
Right, until you see otherwise.
Right,
I mean,
look, exactly.
Guys, if you're
don't blow it up.
You got to, it's great to wave the geek flag.
Right. I don't know if you heard it, but...
Don't wave it too hard, though.
A few episodes back of this show, I inserted a PSA... of R2-D2 and C-3PO, and C-3PO finds R2-D2 around a corner smoking a cigarette.
Okay.
It's a legit thing, live action, so it's like, does he really have a cigarette problem? No. Okay, so let's, just take commercials as commercials, you know what I mean? But it was a funny find. You should look that up one day, folks. Not necessarily the episode of this show, but just a PSA that's on YouTube of... C-3PO was all up in a bother about it. Oh, all too... So anyway, he He should get a better voice, you would think, with all that technology that's stored away in him.
You'd think he'd be
a little less rickety.
Really, he knows every language in the universe, and he decides to speak like a British human.
Like a butler. So Ed's next question is quite the general kind of a question, but is it really possible for a filmmaker to, quote, rape your childhood? So this is a phrase you might have heard, like, people use and throw around because something that they grew up with and loved gets destroyed by somebody remaking it. Or
no, there's no such thing as raping a childhood. It's just a matter of grow the fuck up, people.
I think it's about being too protective of something that you liked as a kid.
Let's be real. Disney owns everything.
They own everything that's cool.
They are going to rape and pillage everything until there is nothing left.
Basically.
So,
to a degree.
Just get over it now and move on.
I agree. I have no other comment. Really
I think it's a matter of certain people just being too protective of things that they thought were really amazing when they were a kid. Because when you're a little kid, you don't have a lot to compare shit to, so everything is pretty fucking amazing. So, if you really feel like your shit got raped, you should go back and rewatch this thing, or go back and reread it, because it's probably not going to hold up like you think it will.
Right. So saying that, someone raped your childhood by doing things. It's like me I would have to be upset at Bill Cosby because he took all the Little Rascals away.
Sure.
But no, that's my childhood. I grew up with that because there was nothing else on friggin' TV.
Sure. Absolutely. So
basically
that's similar.
Right. So he just raped my childhood. I can't have access to that anymore. Why? Yeah. Because he's a racist.
Yeah,
basically.
But I think one of the things too is like it's such a crazy turn of phrase. Anyway, I mean, rape your childhood. It's like
I know it's like
it's a little
it's over dramatic right from the start.
It's so over dramatic. It's like we're talking about pop culture shit. Like,
really, if Warner Brothers makes a Bugs Bunny cartoon today and they got to put a diaper on them because the rules say they have to. It's not raping your childhood.
It's like looking like this. Your childhood was bought and sold a long time ago.
Really,
because anything that you liked was made specifically to get
George
a
Lucas sold you out for $5 billion.
Even if you read a book and a guy only wrote,
sold you out you know what I mean?
It's all business.
Yeah,
it's all business.
Yeah,
so get over it.
Yep, they you want to do that, then create something that becomes worth something, and then keep it.
All right, so let's take a break from the serious here. Ed's next question.
I'm going off.
No, not even on you necessarily.
Right, whatever,
but I'm just read this one, and I'm like, we got to do this.
All right.
So Ed's question is, and it's kind of like a logistical and logical kind of question. Now that I think about it, but how do Green Lanterns take a dump in space? Like, I guess what he's saying is that
pretty much they just we'll just go over this one real quick. Yeah. No further comments are needed. They
all right.
They think up a toilet from their ring and they shit in it and then it goes away.
Okay,
I think that works.
That's probably the easiest way. I was going to say they used the ring to to turn the crap and floating in space now because they just took a dump into energy to charge the lantern.
There you go. That's another one.
That's another one.
Everything is fuel. Everything has energy, right?
When they're flying through space, they just pretty much got like the green around them, and you just open up like a little trap door, like in old cartoons, everybody's pajamas had the
faster than
the
the speed of light anyway. So the moment you take a crap, you're 1,000 miles away anyway.
That's true, but I was talking.
I apologize. I had that thought. I had to get it out.
Obviously, but yeah, you didn't step on it too much. But so that's that, and then Ed's last one because he sends him one every day, just about. And I was going to mention this too. Does the casting of Nichole Kidman, Bob may not know about this, in Wonder Woman make you excited, nervous, or indifferent? She's been cast, it seems, as Hippolyta.
Hippopotamus?
Yeah,
Hippopotamus.
What's her name's mother, right?
Yeah, so, and I think...
that's fine by
me. Is she that old yet?
Well,
yeah, she's that old already?
She's going to be playing grandma soon. Yeah. What makes you does it make you excited, nervous, or indifferent? If those are the choices, what would you say? Nervous, excited, or indifferent?
I'm okay with it. I guess that makes me more or less indifferent.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. For you, Dom, those are your choices. That's all you can choose.
What were they again?
Nervous, excited, or indifferent?
Indifferent.
Yeah, it's an indifference all around.
She's a fine actress.
Absolutely.
It's a not a giant role. It's good.
To me, it's equatable to Odin in Thor. You know,
sure.
You got a good
Anthony Hopkins.
Right. You got a good level actor or actress to play that role. You'll see them a little bit. Yeah. It'll be a good time had by most.
They'll bring great drama to their role and move on.
There you go.
There we go.
There we go.
Cash their check.
So Now, to wrap up emails, although it's not quite an email, and it will lead us into our next segment, Agent Palmer.
Agent Palmer.
Agent Palmer. Agent Palmer's got like a little tune.
Yeah.
That's Agent Palmer's little jingle. That's,
I like it.
Flaws and all.
Flaws and all. Well, because, hey, nobody's perfect, all right?
You should put it up on his blog or something.
He should actually take a clip of that.
Yeah.
And just be like, Agent Palmer.
So this segment is what I've been making my notes for, because this is...
Get out of here.
This is like what I've been like waiting for the whole time.
Folks, live research is what you just got. So Agent Palmer, and it's kind of very timely because he knows that we're doing that other podcast, asks us, since Preacher is coming to television, what less... Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. What less known or non-mainstream comic book would you like to see done next?
So before any of us answer this question...
take the floor,
I'm not sure if you know, but has Palmer read Preacher before?
No, but I was trying to get him...
So he's got it... Palmer, I know you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Got to read it, dude. And if
really
he reads
good.
it, I think he could be an asset to helping us on the Preacher vs. Preacher show.
That's fair enough.
Because he seems like a guy that, when
I think his
if
issue
he knows about the comics,
is
he's
whether
good.
or not he'd be able to watch the episodes because of whatever cable package he has, or something, his cable setup situation, and then AMC making them available online or something like that, or what they do. That would be the issue for him.
Okay.
But, not to blow out the microphone, but I did it that time.
All right, I devised a little list over here.
You
for this question.
you were chomping away at a little list over there.
But
all right.
You guys could answer first because I can't decide.
Well, I'll say this just to knock them out of the way. Series that I would want on my list are already in development to a degree. Letter 44, whether or not that actually happens. Southern Bastards,
got it.
Which seems to be a little bit more active in its development.
Yeah, man.
And then the one that will never get made because they won't make it. The creators, that's Saga, the TV show or a series of movies would be great for that, but that's not something that they actually actively want to do. So I'll have to live without that. And then
it'll happen eventually, just because of what it is. I think that the money that they'll make from making that show,
and I think
or movie, they would just never be able to turn down. I don't
and
think.
It might be for them. It's like, well, let's tell the story, get us to a point where we're done with it, and then we'll see. What happens.
I guarantee you that it'll happen. Just when it happens is the question.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Bob, what do you got, man?
Well, pretty much with Bill on the whole Southern Bastards, which I think is going to be like Friday Night Lights meets Buford T. Passer.
Oh, so Bob, by the way,
and
I don't think we told you that the guy who draws Southern Bastards put out a tweet a few weeks ago saying that they finished like the first 2 or 3 episodes of the scripts for Southern Bastards, and they've already decided to go right into casting, and they're in the casting stage right now.
Okay, cool.
That's
cool. That's good.
It's moving.
Yeah, that's definitely moving.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, back to what I was saying. So I agree with Bill on Letter 44 and Southern Bastards. And because of that, the only thing that comes to my mind, and I'm just going with what comes to my mind, because I would love to see something like this on TV.
Okay.
Fuck Fairyland.
Okay, you know what? I still don't even read it. I have it in the stack.
I hate Fairyland.
Yeah, there's the PG version, which is I Hate Fairyland, and then there's the Fuck Fairyland, which I think is what the creator really wanted.
Well, yeah, he wants to curse.
Usually that's how it goes.
Yeah.
You get the hardcore version, then you get the PG-13. It doesn't usually work the other way around. If
Right,
you're doing
right.
PG-13, you're not thinking of putting swear words.
Yeah,
in.
you can't upgrade.
Right.
But
So,
no,
but
that's a good
definitely,
one.
I mean, just as like to shock everybody,
Right.
Yeah,
and
see this cute little girl running through Fairyland, beating the shit out of everything.
And do it as a cartoon. Do it as in his style.
Oh yeah.
Mother Goose, all the fairy tales, all that crap. I think it would be fun.
Yeah, it's a book. It's a new book by Scotty
I think it
Young.
would not be for kids, so don't mistake it for anything that would be for kids. But
Yeah, I could see that show being on late night.
I can see it.
right, like Toonami,
Comedy Central.
I can see it on Netflix or something like that because Netflix has got like they're starting to do animation. Bill Burr, I saw, had a little teaser come out for.
Yeah, they could use
like
a South Park
an animated show that he's
it would
doing.
Definitely work with animation. I would like to see though, like live action.
Yeah, live action would be crazy.
Yeah,
live action would be crazy. It would be like if you thought Alice in Wonderland was just screwy nowadays because of the Tim Burton ones. Like this is just.
This would be just like crazy. This is.
Put an axe in
everything that is, and then it's like that's like horror movie,
right? Right.
Mixed with pure anger.
Well, what I was going to mention is that also what came out this week, which actually would probably make a good series, but we only have one issue out of it to judge that on, is Citizen Jack, which is basically local politician makes a deal with a demon. You know what I mean? And it's written real tongue in cheek. It's more of a goof. It's a dark comedy kind of thing, and it's got some Midwest sensibilities that are picked on and picked apart. But it's a book you should actually go out and get, because I wouldn't be surprised if it turned into a property.
It's a familiar story, but it's very creatively done. So you're getting from different. You're getting the story from different time periods.
Sure. Yeah, there's a little bit of flashback,
back and forth. A lot of it, and so I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I think it's got a good setup. It's not like as dark as you might think, but it's definitely a thing where this
that's the point of the book. I think is that it's
still fair.
It's got that dark
undertone.
It's got like that dark undertone to it, but it's like very light-hearted book. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's very tongue in cheek, and it just it feels more of just like straight up comedy than
Well, because of the main character being a kind of like good-for-nothing kind of small-town mayor who just happens to be a guy, former mayor, who just kind of happens to be a guy who can't kind of, get it right. He's kind of an obnoxious jerk, but also, so it's a thing where I see like a guy like Jack Black or somebody like that kind of taking this role on. Obviously, skews a little older for the character than Jack Black may be, but
I think
it would work.
Fair enough.
He could play a little bit older. I think he's in his 30s, so he could play in his mid-40s with a little.
He's not in his 30s.
I think he's in his 40s now.
I think he's probably pushing 50.
Then he could do it.
It's true. It's fair enough.
No, he's not that old.
But point being that look it up.
I got it because I'm just very
challenge on the floor. We need a belt.
No, I'm just curious.
By the way,
46.
When everyone's done going around, I'd like to mention one more comic I just came up with.
Okay. Go ahead, do it.
Well, I actually throw it in right now because but that was Citizen Jack. It was a new book. People actually go.
Sam Humphries and
Tommy Patterson. Go check it out from Image.
Right. Well, I was thinking, the Constantine. I was thinking about Constantine, the show and everything, and I said, well, what about Doctor Strange?
Yeah, well, it's movies coming. Maybe I guess you didn't really know.
Yeah, no, I did know about a movie, but it was like, isn't that a couple years away still?
No,
they actually set pics started leaking out this week.
After reading this month's issue, I'm picturing that in my head. Slightly toned down.
Right.
Because it goes a little over the top.
It gets a little wacky.
Yeah, but if you tone it down a little bit, it could be a show that people watch because they just want to see what the fuck's going to happen next.
Well, that's what I thought about Doctor Strange too. Like, I feel like Doctor Strange would make a better show, series, Netflix or TV or otherwise than necessarily a movie, because you're gonna have to work overtime to make Doctor Strange really work. On a movie level, where you want that to be a blockbuster.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
But the problem with doing a TV show is like the budget, probably.
3 people.
You can't. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know what? I apologize.
Well, one at a time. So we'll go to Tom.
Budget-wise. Issue. That's it.
Yeah. No, that's the other thing too. No, you're absolutely right. The budget issue would be through the roof on a series. Could they sustain it? Like, you'd have to do short run just to make the budget work. True.
Yeah, the only way to really make Doc Strange as a movie is it's got to be a classic origin story. Yeah, because he's so far out there. You just got to bring people in slowly.
Yeah, and I don't. But Marvel's new thing is to not bury you in origin films so much, so you'll get a flashback thing. He's in like Nepal right now. The set pics that are coming out are from that region.
Right.
I'm probably mislabeling the country, but
it is Nepal. It is.
So we're seeing him getting his powers, basically.
Basically, it's the start of his stuff. Yeah, he's with Mordo, and he's got a beard at this point, which looks like one of the worst beards I've ever seen. But it's like, I don't think Cumberbrink could even grow one. You know what I mean? So, but to get back to the topic of other comics that should be like TV shows,
I got a few.
Yeah. So you're making a list there, chum. What do you got?
3 of them that you mentioned are on there. So
okay.
I got a bunch of them. So I'll just
So
number 1 on the list, obviously, I think we could all agree on Lock and Key.
Sure.
Yeah, that would
absolutely right.
Second, I have Saga, even though I never read it. I think I know a lot of people are like cult fans of the book, like Bill is. I know enough about the story, so I think it would just be cool. Southern Bastards, which is happening, so it's kind of on the fence. Letter 44, also same category.
Right.
Bitch Planet.
Sure.
Don't know if anyone.
Right. No, I read it.
I'm unfamiliar with that one.
So it's all female prison planet, but it's written by women. So there's a strong feminist kind of.
Right.
So it's like
doing it right, kind of. It's a schlock and a throwback to the 70s exploitation kind of stuff.
I can totally get that.
But it's
So it's like near future. World is kind of like reverted back to like the 60s or 70s type of like mindset,
right,
where like the men are just straight up like in power with everything.
Right.
Every woman is pretty much sent off to this distant planet, like as a prisoner, pretty much. And the planet's called Bitch Planet, and it's just like
it's a really good series. Yeah. I mean, I really can't give it enough of I feel like I haven't read an issue in a while. I don't know if it was.
It comes out like once every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
I think.
It's on a weird pattern.
It's Kelly Sue DeConnick, but
so I lose track on it. But it's it's a great series. They do a lot of misdirection with the storytelling too in the beginning to kind of lull people to thinking it's one kind of book, and then it goes left and it becomes, the protagonist kind of changes. Right. So not to give it away too much, but that's the kind of setup on that. But it's that's another one that would be a great series.
I also have Akira.
Sure.
Okay.
I think people want to make a big budget movie out of that, and it's like
you don't need to.
Not only do you not need to, the audience for that is so fucking niche.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean?
You're not going to make anything of it.
And you're just not going to make it right. I think it's like, if you turn that into an American-based storyline where it's all about Americans now, it's just not going to hold. It's just it's going to become something so different. It might as well just be something else.
Well, yeah, that's something that there's a cultural aspect to it that's just
huge. Yeah,
that you just can't take away from it.
And the movie that people know of, the animated movie, is a movie that is so condensed from the comic book that it's based on,
right?
That it's like it almost doesn't even make any sense. The movie. Like, you know what I mean? You have to do multiple watches on that to kind of digest it. And it's not even, it's great to rewatch because it looks fucking beautiful and it's amazing. And it's actually a personal favorite of mine that's like really high in my personal list.
I know you've watched that at least half a dozen times.
At least half a dozen. And then, more than that.
No, you did wear out the videotape. You had it on videotape.
I had it on videotape. I had the original version. And then, like, I have
wasn't there a director's cut?
There's that, but I have the redubbed version that came out because the original dubbing of it is like the story is so marginalized in the dialogue that they felt like, if we do it again, we'll fix the story in the dialogue. And they did do that, but now I only know the version from 1980 whatever, or 90 whatever. So it's like when I hear and watch the other one, I'm like, no, it doesn't work for me. I want to hear all the crazy other stuff.
Well, that kind of falls into the category of Ed's email of people raping your childhood.
Well, I wouldn't call it rape. I'd call it.
I know, but
I'd call it a shove down a flight of stairs, maybe.
There you
go. Okay.
All right, I got 2 more, and then that's it.
Okay.
I got American Vampire, which is Scott Snyder, one of my favorite writers, and Black Science, Rick Remender. I don't know if anyone's read that at all, but science fiction type of book. Yeah. I read a few issues of it. I think it's pretty good.
What's cool about Black Science is that some generations could you could explain it to them by saying it's like Space Family Robinson, except it's dimension hopping instead of like planets or straight up outer space. Okay. But so it's it's a couple of scientists, the wife and the kids. They're trying to get home, and one crazy fucking planet after the other, kind of a thing. That's simplifying the hook, I think, but that's kind of like the hook on that.
Yeah.
And then
it's gravity with a family and planet hopping.
Well, nobody dies. No. Well, I mean, not like that. But gravity doesn't work. But what was the other one you said there?
American Vampire.
American Vampire, which is a great one. Which is
haven't read any of it, but I just know the buzz about it. So.
I think I got the first 2 books. Yeah, Scott Snyder and Stephen King broke that, and then Stephen doesn't really take part in it anymore. But it was a joint project they kind of set up together, and now just Scott's doing it. But what's cool about that is it's vampire stuff, but it spans a long period of time. So, but it jumps, I think, every story arc. So, like in the beginning, it's the Old West. I think the second story arc brings it up to like 1920s, maybe not even, but maybe it just moves to like the city. I'm just thinking it's 1920s, but it's really good stuff, really good twists, turns, and story shifts like that, like And it's a play. It doesn't play with the conventional rules of vampires. It kind of establishes its own little set of rules. Like for whatever reason, or maybe he's the only vampire who can do it. But I know he's around during the daytime, and that's supposed to be a big deal.
Okay.
So I'm a little vague on it
because
it's been a while since I read it. But it's another great one, and it's got a good logo.
Actually, yeah, it does. Actually, one more that I actually just thought of that came out this week.
What?
A new #1 this week from Image. Unfollowed.
Actually,
I don't remember who the writer on that was.
But
I know Bill hasn't gotten to it yet, but I
read like the first 3 or 4 pages. It looked kind of batshit crazy from the start of it. Anyway.
No, it's really it kind of.
Once you realize what's going on,
it seems like it is, but it actually has like a really cool hook. So pretty much, like to simplify it, it's just like it's playing on like the social media, Twitter. How social media kind of controls society today.
Okay.
Pretty much, but also like it's like, what if Bill Gates died,
right,
and decided to give his $17 billion net worth to 140 random characters around the world?
Okay. All right. Sure.
And that's pretty much what it is.
Like how it starts.
Could one of those characters not be random? Could it be me?
Well, unless you knew him, you'd be random.
I'll share it with both.
As long
as
you didn't know,
I'll give you both $1.
So actually, it's like nice, it's like 100. It's $17 billion. This young like philanthropist. He's like 25-ish, I think. He's dying,
and he's picked 140 people to get it.
He just chooses 140 random characters. They call it like
right.
Twitter. You only
has 140 characters.
Exactly. So it's like you're gonna follow like the different people that get it and how it changes their lives and it's just, I think it's just going to be a.
It opens up in a crazy situation where it's like, oh, it's going to be that kind of book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not just like, don't feel like, oh, it's going to be like a humdrum thing. There's definitely an action and a
because it's going to be like there's a lot of people who revere this guy for it,
right?
And there's also a lot of people who are going to be after.
Trying to
the people who win this money now because it's publicized.
Okay, so the world knows who those people are.
Yeah, so it's like you get after you're awarded the money, pretty much like all at once. Bob's phone gets an alert, and the 140, quote unquote, the 140 app is automatically downloaded onto your phone, and there's a video from the kid saying, hey, like I chose you for the money and this and that, and this is what I want you to do with it. And then he dies. But it's cool. Probably make a good movie or a TV show, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And it probably will.
Right. So how much money is that per person?
So that's what I was actually getting to. It's actually, they say it in the book, it's 17 billion, 140, 120 million each.
Yeah.
I could live on that.
Yeah, I think so. I could see why some people might start
Government's going to take about 30% of that, and then you got $90 million. And
and
I'd just go.
And they may not even, because it's not a lotto winning, so they wouldn't tax it like they do the lotto. So it's
it's a gift.
Well, it's a gift. It'll fall under certain kind of
so there's going to be a high tax on it anyway. But
$1 million gift.
Sure. Billion.
Well,
whatever. It's more than 10,000. That's all that I know.
You don't get gift is not taxed unless it's like $1 million, something like that, I think.
Oh, yeah, is that how it goes?
That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. Someone could probably prove me wrong on that.
Send an email, proved I'm wrong, to podcast@wickedtheory.com.
Thank you.
I think it's actually more like over $600.
Oh, really?
Okay. Well, only because I only say that, and I don't know for sure. I only say that because if you win the pick 3,
right? If you win a lotto up to a certain amount, you don't have to go through.
If it's over $500, you have to go and pay taxes on it.
Okay. Yeah, you have to go actually to the lotto
you have to
office
go to the lotto office, claim it, and then you get minus the taxes.
Yeah.
Right. So I think you got to pay, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Lotto might even have that set up because of the issue of stores hate that shit. Like when you win and it's over like $100 because it's a pain in the ass for them because it's like, do I have
it's
500?
Not a pain in the ass for them. You see these guys, how much they spend on there? They go there for, they spend hundreds.
So sometimes there's not enough in the drawer drawer to cover it because people aren't.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying. I can see stores complaining forever about that, and that just being like Lotto comes down with the policy of New York State Lotto comes down with the policy of X amount doesn't get paid out at the store, like, you know what I mean, at store level. Plus, too, the state's like anything over 500, like, yeah, we want the taxes on it, so you got to come here and get it.
Yeah, I mean, if you play like a pick 3 box, you get less than if you play it straight. But if you play it straight, then and boxed, when you win both on one ticket, then you have to go and you have to pay. So guys always get 2 tickets.
Right. Is that why they do that?
Yeah, that's why they
straight
do
on this
$1
ticket,
straight and $1 straight on the box because the winnings are separate on each ticket, right? So you don't have to go up.
Gotcha.
Right
now you know.
Right. So but most of the time, lottery guys, they have plenty of money.
No, don't get me wrong, it's in the store.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that they like to do. It's like they
like to bitch at it, but they got plenty of money in the store to pay out.
Fair enough. So
we'll return after these messages.
Next week on The Incredible Hulk, gangsters kidnap a boy during their attempt to silence an informer. But can David save both their lives before the Hulk is marked for murder? Next Friday.
This is CBS.
That's good enough. That's good. News time. The time is news time. All right, so just real quick, we're going to kind of do this, and then we'll do a little bit of flash talk real quick. But because we already hit a couple of news things we had listed here, but I just want to drop this in real quick. Marky Mark is going to be the new Steve Austin, and I'm not talking about wrestling. He's going to be the $6 billion man.
Yeah, they raised that price tag, huh?
They raised that up probably around the time back in the late 90s when Kevin Smith was attached and wrote a script that later became a comic book for a while. But, it became the $6 billion man because, inflation. So he'll be the Bionic Man. I think it's a good choice. I would say like him or Matt Damon is perfect. But Matt Damon's he's already got
what, Bourne?
The Bourne stuff, in which he's doing a new Bourne movie.
He's doing another one?
He's doing another one. He got back together with Paul Greengrass.
I actually would actually buy Matt Damon a little more, I think, than Marky Mark.
Yeah, because Matt just sells the seriousness a little bit better than Marky Mark.
Yeah,
he's a better actor.
Yeah,
Marky Mark looks a little more like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
When I saw this original show, so when I think of Steve Austin, I don't think of a bodybuilder.
No, I don't.
I would think of a big guy, a strong guy, but not a bodybuilder.
No. You think like average height build kind of thing.
So to update that to today, I think Matt Damon fits the bill better.
Yeah, Marky's pretty jacked nowadays.
Yeah, Marky's jacked nowadays, and his whole. His demeanor is a little bit different. It's a little bit, lately anyway, it's more tongue-in-cheek, which, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A little bit more of a play on himself almost sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think, for all intents and purposes, though.
I really don't know anything about it.
The guy needs a franchise other than the Transformers shit that he was trying to get attached to. So
that shit's still going, unfortunately. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marvel's got a character with his name on it, I'm sure.
Somewhere. Yeah, right?
Yeah, really.
But the question is, does Marvel want to pay that check? Which they don't seem to.
No, they don't like to pay those checks. But
no. DC does, though. Warner Brothers.
Yeah, there may be a point, though, where Marvel changes its plans because it is going to get a little tired after a while in the mainstream, the superhero stuff.
Yeah, they need names.
So they'll have to start attaching names to those things.
I think so, too.
That are already in the pipeline at that point.
Mm-hmm. So also, we'll just go to this real quick. Star Trek is going to have a new series, but we know nothing about it except how they're going to milk it. So the thing is, what they're going to do is it's going to be a brand new TV show / online only type thing, where the first episode will air on television, and then after that, episodes will only be available online on a subscription service that CBS is going to start for their video. Like their online streaming service will start up. This is the idea, and it'll be subscription only, $5.99 a month, and that'll be like their flagship show.
So wait, now Hulu was created by NBC and a couple others.
CBS
networks.
wasn't
right. They weren't all right. So, but all these guys got together because none of them figured they could do it successfully on their own.
More or less, yes.
More or less. So now CBS is going to try and do it all on its own, and they're historically known for being like the 65 and older crowd.
Yeah, they're behind the times kind of network.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to work out for them.
I don't think so either. Because here's the thing, like Hulu barely worked, and that was free in the beginning. You know what I mean?
Because everyone was still already hooked up with Netflix.
Yeah, everybody was still already hooked up with Netflix, and it took a while for it to find its legs. But
Netflix didn't really take off like it has over the past like 3 or 4 years until the streaming really came into play. Like back when there was just the DVDs you get mailed to your house, that really wasn't working that well.
No. The streaming taking off right at a time when they probably needed it to worked out.
Like I guarantee you, people don't even know about that with Netflix. That for a while it was like just getting. DVDs
I remember that.
Mailed to your house.
That's what put Blockbuster out of business.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely. No, but he's got a point though too. Like, there's probably a gaggle of people who don't even realize that.
Right. Yeah, that is, 15 years ago now, right?
Yeah, probably. Close to that. Yeah. So the whole point, though, Star Trek, them trying to use Star Trek as a way to entice people to then sign up for their pay site. I don't think, you're creating something brand new. So, like, you better fucking knock it out of the park. Like, that pilot that you're going to air on TV better be, like, more amazing than the movies.
I think it has to be... obviously, like you said, really, really good and like impress right off the bat. But I think they need to make it work by doing Star Trek and then doing like another show with with an already established big name. Okay. I feel like CBS should have waited on Supergirl if they were planning on doing this. You know what I mean? Like they could have put like Supergirl and Star Trek together on this on this new streaming thing, and I think it might have worked a little better than just going with Star Trek.
It would definitely have more legs, but I think as far as Star Trek goes, I think they need to get away from what they're doing in the movies if they're going to work at all. Right. I think they need to go more cerebral with the Star Trek show.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and who knows if they'll do that? Like, because it is going to fall into the same creative team and universe that the movies are. And
I'm not even talking about like techie stuff, the techie end of it.
I know what you mean. Like real good stories.
Yeah, you have to really tie it in. Yes. Like back in the DS9 days when you had Voyager, which was tied into DS9, and even Next Generation was tied into DS9.
Sure.
So you had a whole bunch of new characters and a whole bunch of new enemies.
Right, but it felt like...
And there was always something fresh going on, at least in DS9. So that kept the whole franchise going at one point.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I for me, it's like, overall, is it sustainable? Are they going to basically torpedo the show itself by making that the only place you can get it? Like, I understand because even Time Warner, or even Warner Brothers now, Don pulled it up before, is kind of saying, like, in the future, we're not going to be probably releasing stuff so soon on other platforms.
Right.
We've realized that we should probably keep it more in-house. This way, people use the on-demand feature to watch Arrow on the cable box. Yeah. So is CBS...
No,
because they want to be self-inclusive, where it's like, if you want to watch our stuff, this is going to be the only place to get it. Right. But if you want to watch the original content made just for this outlet, then you have to subscribe. It's going to be like, you better fucking do better than you've ever done on original content.
But I think this is definitely a mistake off the bat, because you're asking people to, on faith, pay money with something they don't know about. Right. I think they'd be a lot better off if they said, okay, you know what? For the first year, we're just going to put everything that we put on the air on TV, we'll put on here. And then we'll put additional content on. Maybe charge, if they really want it, 50 cents, $1. Just a flat rate fee.
Yeah.
Let them sign up for free and let them pay these tiny out-of-pocket transactions that don't mean much to them.
Per episode.
And get comfortable.
Per episode, you mean.
Right, per episode. It's not even for the episodes. Let them watch the episodes free. Yeah. You add them on TV for free. Right. So let them watch those for free. Don't charge them for those.
Like if you told me $2 to get the season pass.
Right. Let that be part of the free service.
Right.
And then say, okay, well, now there's additional content that you can watch. Maybe it's scenes that were cut out. Maybe it's scenes that were written just for that add more story to the original thing, and you get to watch the whole episode again with those in it. Whatever it is.
Right.
They should just charge a small nominal fee just to keep things running.
I think, $6 is way too much.
Yeah, and then just let them watch 50 cents a pop. Before you know it, you're getting the $6 a month.
There you go.
And you're not even, it's not even a blip in their mind.
Exactly.
And that would work a lot better over the course of growing pains.
Absolutely.
And then once you have it solid, then you say, okay, you know what? Now it's $6 a month.
There you go.
You undercut everybody else.
Yeah, and it's a more reasonable thing. I think the $6 idea is that, well, everybody else is paying like $7 or $8 or $9, but we'll try and keep it a little bit lower. And to me, it's like if you really want to get people, you want to have then have an actual low price point.
Right.
Have like a $3 price point for subscription. $6 is crazy. to me.
Right.
You're only going to have one exclusive kind of show.
This I think is going to be a total failure.
Yeah. So speaking of things that could be a total failure, Greatest American Hero remake is going to come. Bob, what do you think? Real quick, 1, 2, 3.
I hope they do it right.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
it was a fun show.
It's a fun show. It's good for kids. It's good for teens and everything. So let them do it. Go for it. Just don't screw it up, Fox. Like you usually screw up superhero stuff.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it's Fox necessarily. I'm not sure, but even if it's not, whoever, just don't screw it up. You know, it's a remake that is worth doing. Actually, and then that's it for that. But Dom has a little project he worked on.
Dom.
For lack of a better term, I don't know how he would refer to it. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But he's got a thing. He's got a thing.
He's a boy, so he should have a thing.
It's true.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's like a science project, I guess.
Yeah. I guess to some degree.
Just
Yeah. Well, how would you phrase this?
I would phrase this as
TV science. No?
Drinking way too much caffeine.
Okay.
And having to just being forced to stay up way too late at night sometimes, and just having way too much time on my hands in the later hours of the day.
And being like a big geek on top of
that. Also, yeah. So pretty much I just compiled a list of Bill smacking his head up against the mic. No, I just compiled a top 5 list of my possible Zoom theories for The Flash.
Who is Zoom?
Who is Zoom?
Pretty much.
Who's zooming who?
Who's Zoom?
Wasn't that the name of a TV show when we was kids or something?
Who's the Zoom? Who's the Zoom?
Zoom. Let's go back to my room.
Tony Danza and Who's the Zoom?
Well, the Zoominator.
Right. So somehow that got him. I don't know. I was very surprised that got you so good, Tom.
It's just because it's so fucking stupid.
It's so
and goofy.
Dumb. So it's Angela.
If you can't be intellectual comedy, just lowest common denominator.
That's it.
That always works.
Below the barrel. So
poop jokes.
Give us your list, buddy. Start. I guess. Yeah. Who was Zoom? These are your. Theories now, would you say these are the most... Because you did do some research. You did watch some other videos.
Yeah, so I
Zoom theories.
I watched like a few videos, but they don't have that much influence on this list, I don't think.
Would you say
it's
this
pretty much just stuff that's like, that me and you have talked about at work with the help of other people, who...
Stragglers.
Who, like, we see at work. Because, we do a lot of Flash theorizing while we're on the job.
Yeah.
So Barry's dad.
Oh, that's it. Pretty much. That's it.
Well, there you go, Bob. There you go. Thanks for pulling out that one out of the fucking gate. That's literally the number one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll edit it out so we have some suspense.
Yeah. Edit it out, please.
All right. So
I was just doing that to fuck around.
No. I think we should leave it in.
Yeah, you want to leave it in?
I think it'll be fun.
Okay. So let's start from the top.
We'll see what happens after he listens back to it.
We still would need a clean jump in point. So let's hear that list. Anyway, let's go through the top 5 Dom theories on who.
Top 5. Number 5 being the least possible.
In your mind.
In my mind.
All right.
I got number 5 being Wally West.
Wally West.
So Wally West is a new character that we're going to be meeting this season at some point, probably around the mid-season finale.
They haven't showed him yet, but we know that he's coming because he's been cast. It's been announced.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, go ahead.
No.
I was thinking somebody else. Go ahead.
Okay. So... That's. I just think it would be very interesting to see a new character develop. A new character and a crucial character to the show develop, like right smack in the middle, like thrown right into the fire, like immediately.
Like he's not.
I'm sorry. I should say that it's not Wally West Earth 1, Wally West Earth 2 would probably be Zoom.
Correct.
So Wally West Earth 1, we meet him.
He's getting into it.
He's starting to get into it, right? He probably doesn't have his powers yet.
He's very green. Like you said, he probably doesn't even have his powers yet.
Right. And then, boom.
To turn around and be like, oh shit, kid, not only are you like got powers now, but you might have a bad guy inside you.
Doppelganger,
like, you know
as they
what I mean?
like
Like
to say.
if your other half is the bad guy,
right.
What does that mean about you? I could see that being a very dramatic kind of conflict.
Exactly. And plus, he's also meeting his father for the first time. He's meeting his sister.
Right.
He's meeting his brother, I guess, to say Barry.
Sure.
So
it would just be another interesting layer to add to all that. As if this wasn't crazy enough.
Exactly.
You're like the evil.
Right.
I like it. I think it's a good.
So,
I think it's a plausible spin.
Yeah, it's definitely. I could see it happening. That's more of what this list is. It's more of like I could see this happening.
Right.
Sure. You know what I mean? So what could you see happening?
5 real possibilities.
So my fourth seeing possibility is just a flat-out new character.
Right.
There's been a lot of theorizing on the web that there's possibilities that it's a new character that has been Zoom and has played a Zoom type role in the comics.
But we just haven't met on the show.
We just haven't met him yet on the show, exactly. Whether it be an Earth 1 or Earth 2 version of that character.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. Not really much to say.
Right, because there's a random unknown element to it. Sure.
Exactly.
So, number 3.
Number 3, I got Joe West.
Joe West? Wait a minute.
Joe West, Earth 2, obviously.
Oh.
Just to get that out there.
Well, Earth 2 does seem to like to have...
He's mad for having to take care of Barry all those years or something?
Maybe.
Well,
maybe on his
world, no, Barry Earth 2, he didn't take care of Barry.
Oh, no?
Technically.
Did we know what happened on Earth 2 for Barry? He's in prison, right?
No, we don't know anything about Earth 2 Barry yet.
But we're presuming that...
you have to presume that...
Well, he could be Zoom.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that you have to presume that everything that happens on Earth 1 is pretty much the opposite of what's happened on Earth 2. So you have to assume that Joe and Barry weren't father-son relationship.
Okay.
On
or
Earth
it's
2.
soured.
Yeah.
Or it could have just... It happened, but it's soured. I
right.
mean, they do show that brief at the end of season 1 when he's seeing all those flashes in the wormhole.
Yeah.
That brief scene of a Barry sitting...
in a jail cell.
So Earth 2 Barry could be in prison. And they might have established that so that people can't go... Oh, well, where's Barry 2? Where's Barry, Earth 2 Barry?
Right.
Like, where is that kid? Why isn't he around?
That's true.
And then
just to keep that one out of
play, and you don't have to do the goofy 2 guys on the screen all the time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
So, but by the same token, who knows?
So, sticking with Joe, I think it would be interesting to see Joe opposite be Zoom because he's so standoffish with the whole metahuman thing when it comes to Barry and the rest of the Flash team. Whenever there's a case involving a metahuman, which is often,
quite,
and he's there or he's involved somehow, he's like, I don't want anything to do.
Yeah, he's almost got this whole he's
kind of almost metaphobic almost.
He's like, I've had enough of this. I know I run this department, but I'm getting too old for this, Riggs.
Yeah,
kind of.
So what I was saying to him the other day, he told me a little bit about this list. I was like, what I would like to see about Joe is that also too, I feel like he's almost as an actor, he's not getting to do much, but besides the same stuff.
You were telling me that when we were watching it.
Yeah, I feel like he's the same guy. He's got the same speeches all the time.
Yeah, it's a 2-dimensional character.
He's just the coach all the time, and it's just let's see that guy. Even if the character stays exactly the same, let's see the actor get a little bit of range, and this would be a great way to do it, I thought. So
just like they did last year with the guy who plays Harrison Wells.
Absolutely.
Obviously. They're probably 2 strongest actors on the show. So.
Well, if Dom's theory holds true about characters, I mean, if Joe West is a cop in Earth 1, then he would be a bad guy in Earth 2.
There you go.
Right, absolutely. That's true.
So
just also sticking with Joe, how this past episode, we saw how Joe finds out before Barry that Harrison Wells comes back and is back on Earth 1.
Right. It doesn't say anything.
And keeps it from Barry. I think it would be a little ironic twist if Barry found out that Joe's doppelganger was Zoom and kept it from Joe for a little while. So now Joe has to deal with that, and now he has to get involved with all this fucking metahuman bullshit.
Yeah, sure. Fair enough.
And then number 2, I got Barry. Barry Allen, Earth 2.
Earth 2, Barry.
Obviously, this is at the top of everyone else's list also, when theorizing about Zoom. But, I just think that, the whole... Barry's still living with all of his demons about everything that he found out last season.
Sure.
Everything that's happened in his life so far, as you saw in the premiere for this season.
They love to dump crap on him, so
exactly.
It would be this great burden on his shoulders now again because nobody carries burdens quite like Barry does.
Exactly, and a reason someone else on the internet pointed this out. So this really isn't my original theory though. That someone thinks that Zoom could have some sort of spiritual or like physical connection to Barry based off of what happened with Linda Park in this episode. I don't think I mentioned this to you, Bill, the other day.
Yeah,
but the guy Charlie from Emergency Awesome said that it's a possibility that Zoom and Barry have a connection because he sent Linda Park to kill him. Linda Park's doppelganger, I should say, who's like a close friend, ex-girlfriend of Barry's, just to get like, you know, kind of a personal
make it even more hard for him.
Exactly.
Right. A real personal connection with his enemy, so that it would be even harder for him to kill him, and therefore give her an upper hand.
Right. So he's saying that maybe it's either that he has a connection to Barry because they're each other's opposite, or Zoom has just been around
and just knows,
and he's been in and out of time, and he's been in and out of Earths, and he's been spying on Barry this entire time, which probably is the more likely thing to happen.
But still,
yeah,
it is a great villainous kind of another
twist,
reason, to use her in particular. Right. So then that leaves us with. Your number one.
My number one, Bob.
The most presumed.
Henry Allen. Barry's daddy.
Barry's dad.
Barry's got daddy issues.
He sure does. And then he finally gets daddy out of prison and he goes away.
Exactly. Well, this one actually makes sense to me because if he could have been fast enough to save his own wife before she died, and now his son has these powers.
Yeah.
So maybe that motivated him to go get him.
I think
maybe that's why he went to Arizona.
I think the witness relocation. I think the thing is, though, it comes down to like which version of Barry's dad is Zoom. Is it Earth 1 or Earth 2 version?
Or another one. I mean,
I doubt it.
Right now we're just dealing with Earth 1 and Earth 2, but who says they don't throw another one in there in the mix?
Sure.
I doubt they'll do that.
At this stage.
That would be crazy and cool, but it would just confuse
things. You're right, but you never know.
Wild.
Yeah, so I just obviously, for obvious reasons, if you know anything about the show, Barry, like we said, gets shit on constantly. So I think it would be interesting to see Barry's dad be Zoom, and
it's
hopefully at one point in time during the season, Zoom takes the life of one of like the main members of Team Flash, whether it be like Cisco or Caitlin or somebody else that he knows maybe.
Right.
And he just feels like the guilt even more because he's his father and he wasn't able to stop him. He let him out of jail. Then he went away. Right. He didn't know where he was.
Well, I think what would be interesting is if the reveal is that like, oh, it's your dad, but we don't know which version of your dad.
Well,
and then Barry can't find his dad, like wherever dad said he was going. And like Barry's like trying to find him or something, and so like they play with the mystery of is it your real dad or Earth 2 dad? And maybe it'll turn out to be it's Earth 2 dad, and he did snatch up your pop and just keeping him tied up somewhere, and you'll get back together with him or whatever. But I could see them playing loose with that, where it'll be like they'll make that the mystery. It's like, okay, now you know who Zoom is, but it's like, well, who is he really? You know, which is a great thing that they could do with it that I wonder if they'd do, and that might explain why. You know, him getting out of prison became such a vague and weird and awkward thing because they weren't sure how to play it without giving too much away or telegraphing this kick. You know what I mean? But it is like, it just does feel kind of like crazy that, you know, you get this guy out of prison. This was the hook of the show.
That's what I'm saying. Right?
And like now it's just kind of tossed away in the first episode of season 2. Like, too convenient. Like, you know, it's too much.
Could we, as people who were complaining early on when this happened,
right?
You know, when we were complaining here on the show, could we have been playing right into their hands?
Very likely.
But that's what what we've kind of been saying. I've been saying anyways from the jump was that
at the very least we think that there's something up their sleeve.
Absolutely.
I've been saying that, you know, I think we've all been saying that if it's not something that means something to the plot going forward, then it's just bullshit.
And why do it? You should You should have just left him in there because it was too convenient to all of a sudden have it be a videotape of his confession, and then so dad gets out, and then like we're not going to go to it. It's like, did you just want to save money on having this actor on call? Did you just want to tie up the you couldn't have possibly decided to just wrap up the one main storyline all together.
Right. Did you just decide to make Barry's day that day. I mean, it's just a little too quick, a little too convenient.
Like, I understand, like, the need for it in a sense. It's like, okay, you know, if we establish in the show that Wells was responsible for everything, and now we all know it, well, then poor Dad is going to sit in jail until they can prove it. How will they ever prove it? You'd need a confession. So let's just do that because that's the logical thing that would happen and get it out of the way. Mm-hmm. That's all true, but I still feel like there's got to be more to it. Like, why send him away? Just to save money? You could have held on to him for another episode or two at least, and this way not make it feel forced.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And just the act of sending him away creates the possibility of a whole other dramatic.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Because now Dad, not for nothing, he's like, it's like having a girlfriend and all these things where now here's somebody that some bad guy can go kidnap.
Because as neatly as that little loose end got tied up, it's actually still hanging there. Because now you create a new question with that character.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
At least in the audience's mind, even if they never do anything with it. For us, it's like, well, what is that really about? Is that something more? And
it wouldn't be the first time that kind of thing happened in TV, but
absolutely.
You got to think of a show like Flash, where those dramatic turnarounds, it's almost as good as a soap opera.
Absolutely, and that's what's great about this list is that it reveals what the show likes to do, which is these dramatic reveal turnarounds, and these are the most likely, absolutely the most likely candidates that fit that kind of thing.
It took a lot for me to like narrow it down to those 5 just because of the character Eddie Thawne.
Right.
I kind of wanted to fit him in there somewhere, but I don't think just because of like the fact that actor is on another show right now as a series regular.
Right.
It's unlikely that
we'll go back to him.
He'll be the main villain of this season.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know about that though. Just because in a show like this, when you got somebody who's living on another world, he could still be named Eddie Thawne and have another mother or another father.
That's fair enough too.
And not look the same. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just when you do that.
But that's not how they're playing it.
No, it's not how they're playing it. But absolutely.
But they could, if they really wanted.
If they really wanted to, they could.
Well, I agree. That's like a comic book thing to do.
Right.
Absolutely.
It leaves all creative possibilities open. When you have
that's
this kind of thing.
We've all been saying that from the jump, that like as soon as they said that this is going to be a multiverse-based show, they could fucking kill anyone off, do anything, and the next episode they'll just be like, we were just fucking around.
There's an out, like, okay, this person's doppelganger in this other universe isn't bad.
They already did it last year with fucking Cisco.
Right.
When Cisco gets killed, and then Barry runs back and like erases that whole time.
If the doppelgangers are evil is a fact, if that's a hard rule, then this version of Wells is a bad guy. Because we take it that the original version of Earth 1 Wells was a good guy who got taken over by a bad guy, but, the good guy's gone. So now if this Earth 2 is nothing but bad guys over there who are good guys over here, then it would stand to reason that at the very least he's shifty.
There's definitely, that's what I was going to say, they're definitely making you think that there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely not a good guy in the classic sense.
Yeah, he's definitely, maybe he's just more self-motivated.
Yeah, I think they're trying to recreate that dynamic from the original Harrison Wells.
Yeah.
Where you always were thinking that, okay, you're waiting for that shooter, the other shooter drop.
Foot.
Yeah.
You're waiting for it to drop.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. That's definitely what they're doing. They're playing loose with that.
So.
And, that's what they're doing.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Is that it?
We fucking figured out the fucking show, all right? Go fuck yourself.
Wow. Look at this. Hour and a half.
Wow.
Wow.
You think we'd have time for another show or something?
No, but actually, we're trying to do that. So, kids, this is where we're going to wrap it up because we got to all the stuff that we wanted to get to. And we'll just have more next week for you. Right?
If you want to listen again.
I mean, if they want to tune in, like, you know what I mean? So, with that, let me just throw out the plugs real quick. We got, you can follow Dom Torre on Twitter at DOM_TORRE. That's Dom Torre.
Mm-hmm. You can follow Bill on Twitter at Wicked Theory.
If you want to.
And then you could also follow our secondary podcast, so to speak. Preacher versus Preacher at Preach v Preach on Twitter.
VS.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
Preach VS Preach.
And then
it's going to be good stuff.
Like Alien versus Predator.
There you go.
It's going to be good stuff.
It's going to be good stuff.
It's probably going to be better than this show, actually.
It'll probably sound a little bit more official and professional. It won't be as I mean, we're goofballs. It'll be in there, but it won't. Will be official business.
Yeah, we're gonna have a more serious tone.
Yeah, we're gonna have a plan and an objective. So with that, follow us online, and then you go to wickedtheory.com to find episodes and to find where else you can find episodes besides wickedtheory.com. So we'll talk to you next week, kids. Bob, you can take us out of here, man. Right off the bat.
I knew it was happening.
We knew it. Yeah, you had to write it up.
I'm not used to this guitar anymore.
They're both waiting for each other.
Yeah.
So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. I leave and heave a sigh and say goodbye. Goodbye.